to San Antonio, Texas. We are live on DAZN for big night of World Championship Professional Boxing. We begin tonight with an affair in the bantamweight division set to make his ring walk. Please welcome Keven "Trouble" Monroy.
Well, Keven Monroy is 22 years of age. He fights out of Spring Valley, California. He is 1-2 with a knockout win and a knockout defeat. The latter coming in his most recent match 364 days ago against a promising young Japanese fighter, Subaru Murata. Monroy is now dropped 2 straight fights, and he is going for his first win since his pro debut back in March of 2021.
And now set to make his ring walk from Del Rio, Texas. Please welcome Jesus Panterita Martinez.
Panterita has arrived as a pro here in the U.S. 17-year-old Jesus Martinez made his pro debut just over 2 weeks ago in Guadalajara. He put together a full display of skills over 4 rounds, and now the 14-time national amateur champion is set to make his U.S. debut as a pro. Trained by Robert Garcia, he resides in Del Rio, Texas, a border town about 150 miles or so west of San Antonio, so plenty of family and friends on hand to watch Martinez open the show at Tech Ford Arena. For just a 17-year-old, Martinez has handled early pro life with aplomb. He is looking to live up to the hype and fulfill a dream that he's had from a young age. He said he wants to become a multi-division world champion.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, good evening and welcome to San Antonio, Texas, USA. We are live on DAZN for a big night of World Championship Professional Boxing. It's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We're sponsored by Bet Online, Hennessy, Never Stop, Never Settle, M150, Basalt, Stagefront, and JD Sports. All of tonight's bouts are sanctioned under the auspices of the Texas Department of Licensing and Registration. The supervisor is Gus Calderon. Introducing your 3 judges scoring our first contest from ringside: Ruben Carrion, Tim Cheatham, and Steve Morrow. And at the sound of the bell, your 3rd man in the ring, referee Mark Calloy. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 4 rounds of boxing scheduled in the bantamweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the red, green, and white trunks. He scaled 120.2 pounds. His professional record: 1 win versus 2 defeats. He hails from Spring Valley, California. Please welcome Keven "Trouble" Monroy. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He wears the white, silver, and black. He's scaled and even 120 pounds. His young professional record thus far perfect: 1 fight, 1 victory. Fighting out of Del Rio, Texas, introducing Jesus Panterita Martinez.
Gentlemen, I am ready to give you instructions in the dressing room. I want a clean fight. Check the gloves and go to your corners. Good luck.
Well, Jesus Martinez scored a unanimous decision victory over Daniel Nunes Gomez in his pro debut just 2 weeks ago in Guadalajara. Keven Monroy, meanwhile, coming off his 2nd straight defeat nearly a year ago against Subaru Murata. As we get going here on Before the Bell, Keven Monroy in the white trunks with the Mexican flag colors in the front. and Jesus Martinez in the white trunks with the black trim. Chris, I know you said you were looking forward to watching Jesus Martinez, your first look at him, and when you see a prospect, a much hyped prospect, what are you looking for immediately out of the gate?
Well, generally guys who have such high amateur pedigree the way that Martinez does, I always look at their eyes. I'm always seeing how much they are aware they are of their opponent, how they're setting things up, how they're using their setups. And right away I can see that. He's got great balance, his in and out's very good, his hand position's excellent. I like what I see already.
That's a nice straight right hand. One thing I like to see too from kids coming out of the amateurs is the ability to make, not a seasoned fighters very uncomfortable, because they can't take a complete amateur approach to these fighters. That won't work for a guy fighting somebody so unorthodox.
You see Martinez with the easy, free-flowing bounce, the comfortable bounce on his feet here in round one, right now on the left side of your screen. He talked to him earlier in the week. Martinez kind of gushed about what you just said, Austin, and the fact that in his last fight against Daniel Nunes Gomez, he made it a point. Gomez was 28 years of age. He put him down on the floor. The big punch comes in there. Monroy trying to battle back.
These are the moments that young professionals need. They need to learn how to take a shot. They need to know how to react when there's something happens that they aren't expecting. And we need to see how they're going to perform over the course of the fight. Will they pull back? Will they engage more? These are major things we'll know about them for the rest of their career.
Monroy coming forward and a right counter from Martinez, trying to land another one. Monroy looking for that right uppercut. Good movement on defense from Martinez.
See Monroy fighting out of that southpaw position with his right foot in front. A little bit unorthodox in the way that he throws punches. Seems like it's going to take Martinez a little bit to figure out the rhythm and the timing.
Definitely. Pace is such a big thing, especially with these two guys coming from Texas and California. These are two high-paced states. They teach a high-paced sort of fight. So it's going to be a big deal to control the pace when it comes down to Martinez.
Ooh,
close range action. I've seen a headbutt. Again, Martinez, just 17 years of age.
And Justin, I think you hit the word right on the head.
Big right hand for Martinez.
Comfortable. Martinez looks very comfortable, even though he has an awkward guy in front of him.
The state of Texas, one of the few in the U.S. that will allow a 17-year-old to fight as a pro if you petition. He began his career, like we said, as the right hand comes in Guadalajara, picked up that first win, and he looks calm and collective here in the opening round against the 22-year-old Monroy.
That was a nice first round. I really think that Martinez needs to pick up the pace. If a guy like Monroy gets comfortable, he can make the fight he can make it very ugly and very unorthodox, and that's not something you want as Martinez, because that won't make his performance look as good.
I'd like to see a little more of the lead left hand, the jab from Martinez. When he threw it, he had great success. He just didn't throw a whole lot of jabs. There's a good one right there.
The hybrid uppercut from Keven Monroy.
Nice overhand.
And that overhand right was a punch that Martinez perhaps at times tried to kind of force in a couple of weeks ago in Guadalajara. When you talk to him, you can tell he is very mature for a 17-year-old. He put down Nunes in that first round. And like we mentioned, 28 years of age in terms of an opponent, 11-year gap right there. He quickly realized, maybe at the end of the first or second round, that they were going to go to the distance. So that's when he kind of backed off a little bit and slowed himself down. There's real poise in Jesus Martinez as we begin round two. There's that overhand right from Jesus Martinez. And a wild left hook by Monroy.
I think Martinez would have more success if he straightens that right hand out. When he throws it over the top, it shortens it up a little bit.
And when you see a fighter throw a lot of overhand shots, they're definitely looking for a shot that will debilitate their opponent. Monroy right now, I believe, is too comfortable and able to think about things, just like that shot he threw right there. That's a straight shot right down the middle. Martinez has to take these things away from this kid. More jabs from Martinez will silence this kid, Monroy. Good hook.
Quick combo leading to the left hook from Martinez. Decorated amateur, fought to 137-9 as an amateur, as he continues to throw the Two-handed combo, stiff right hand that lands on Monroy from Martinez.
There's that punch we spoke about, Ammo. That straight right hand.
Straight right hand, straight right hand. He's finding the shot, and that will change the fight.
A lot of times when you're fighting an awkward fighter like Monroy, it's better just to keep it simple. The fundamentals always work. There it is.
Another impressive right hand.
Now that he's found that shot, he can build on top of that. And I think him bringing back the left hook will be something that will really hurt this kid, Monroy.
Another chip right hand. He
Right on cue.
comboed it up with the left hook.
There it is.
The variety of right hands, all coming in equally powerful from Jesus Martinez here in the second round.
Monroy is a warrior. This is a great fight for Martinez to have in his second fight because this kid is definitely durable and he's here to fight. He's not here to take a knee. He's not here to, quit and just get out of the ring. So this is actually a great learning experience for Martinez.
Left hook from Martinez. Monroy trying to spoil Panterita's night in front of his family and friends here in San Antonio.
Nice straight 1-2.
That was a good shot right down the middle. Split the guard of Martinez.
These guys have to definitely watch the headbutts off of one another because, no one's safe from headbutts. A cut from a headbutt can change the tide of any fight. So we have to be comfortable and we have to watch the distance.
The right hand following the jab from Martinez. Monroy standing big overhand left. That lands from
This
Martinez.
is where Martinez needs to capitalize on top of that. You get a small window to finish, guys. With a shot like that, you have to have the killer instinct to go in.
Beautifully timed check hook there. The left hook, great weapon against the southpaw.
We saw the right hands flowing, but the most impactful punch in that round was the left hand from Jesus Martinez.
As I said before, I really think him putting his shots together will end this fight. That one shot that he hit with that kid with, if he would have ripped back a left hook, that could have been good night.
Here we see the combination there for Martinez. Right, left, right hand combination, which is a great combo against the southpaw. Landed a good 2 or 3 shots there. And then at the end of the round, as Ammo was saying, he needed to add that left hook to the straight right hands, and he did that perfectly toward the end of the round.
I'm really impressed with the Martinez kid. Even though we're not seeing an early knockout, I'm still impressed with him and how he's keeping his poise through everything that's happening. There's been a few headbutts, there's been a few really ugly entanglements, and he's still keeping himself poised and ready to fight.
Martinez looked very calm in between rounds.
Third round underway. This one's scheduled for 4. The second pro fight for Jesus Panterita Martinez here in San Antonio, a place he calls his second home. Martinez, for a time, lived in San Antonio. He said from age 9 to 14, as the left hand comes in from Panterita. That's when he met Jesse Bam Rodriguez for the first time. Started training at the Garcia Boxing Academy when it was in San Antonio.
One thing that's lacking all the way around in this fight is body shots, okay? When you have guys that are high-paced, taking that energy away from a fighter with the body shots, that can be a fight ender. Most guys get really used to taking shots to the head, especially when they're not as skilled. And when you go downstairs with hard left hooks and straight right hands to the body, that will take the fight to a different stage and let you choke a fighter out.
Monroy starting to be crowded by Martinez in those combos.
Body shots will be essential in this fight. If Martinez wants to really slow Monroy down, he has to go downstairs to the body.
That's a great point, especially because Monroy is really overextending himself at times, throwing those big shots down the middle.
It's something we didn't see 2 weeks ago either. A lot of body work from Jesus Martinez. Overhand right, one of the few that have connected. Martinez really likes that punch.
The body work, that's a nice shot to the body. And I think that's an adjustment that should be made a bit earlier. You just take the steam out of fighters quick, and it starts to show up in the third and fourth round.
And if you notice, right after Martinez landed a good body shot, Monroy threw one shot of his own, so you know that one got through.
Monroy coming forward here, overhand left, over the right hand of Monroy.
Now, retreating with a guy like Monroy is not always the best thing to do, because to make a fighter like Monroy uncomfortable, he needs to go backwards. He needs to go backwards. Right now, Monroy, he's already calculated that he may take big shots, so they won't have as much sting as they would if he was going back and he was completely out of his comfort zone.
Left
Big
hook
load up
from
there.
Martinez as they move back to the center of the ring. Martinez lowering his body before launching that right hand.
Good footwork.
Nice angles there, yeah.
Great angles.
Martinez called his style really unique. And guys, it's something we hear all the time. Hey, I have such a unique style, I can do it all. Martinez, he said earlier this week, yeah, a lot of people say that. I truly believe I displayed my full package and still kept some things under wraps that I'm obviously going to unleash. But he said he feels comfortable in his ability, and he goes down there. A left hand by Monroy, and that's a knockdown early on at the hands of Keven Monroy.
Wow, wow, wow.
Looked like a left uppercut, or it might have been a sweeping left shot that Martinez dipped right into. I think he took that on the chin. He got put on his butt.
We're going to learn a lot about Martinez tonight with how he reacts in this last round. All right, he has one round to make that up. Not only that, win the judges back over and, you know, display that he's more than just a skillful boxer, but a fighter as well.
A knockdown in a 4-round fight can be disastrous.
Not enough time to make it up.
A massive round about to come up here for Jesus Martinez and Keven Monroy on Before the Bell. After a 10-8 round 3 for Keven Monroy.
Oh, nice shot. Nice shot.
Martinez was having a good round up until that point. He got caught right at the end.
That's why we cannot get careless. As I seen it back, Martinez overextended on the shot and got caught with a left uppercut.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the fourth and final round.
Maybe a little renewed energy from Keven Monroy coming out of the corner to start this fourth and final round after picking up that third round knockdown. Let's see how Martinez reacts.
He believes he can hurt the kid. And once you believe and know that you can hurt someone, it definitely changes your demeanor in a fight.
And
So
you can see his body language.
yes, he's going to be a lot more aggressive. He's going to go for the knockout, and that's going to give him a lot more activity, which is so important in a 4-round fight. It's just like the amateurs. We're looking for activity. But also, he can make a big mistake and get caught by Rodriguez as well.
The energy
Martinez.
so far turned up here in round 4. Keven Monroy entering at 1-2. He's had to sit on 2 straight defeats for 364 days. His last match, June 26th of last year.
And that's very interesting because some fighters sitting on losses like that makes them hungrier. It makes them hungry. It makes them want to redeem themselves. So that might be what we're seeing tonight from Monroy.
Monroy looks pretty hungry to me. You mentioned it earlier, Ahmad. He's here to win. He's not here just to lay down.
Smearing right hand for Martinez, follows it up with an overhand left. Monroy active here in the 4th round as well.
Clash of heads there.
Clash of heads. Very, very, very important to stay away from the clash of heads.
That's one of the biggest transitions coming out of the amateurs to the pro ranks is the lack of headgear and getting those heads banging together, especially when you're fighting awkward fighters who may not be as experienced as some of the international guys.
3-punch combo by Martinez moments ago. 90 more seconds in this one.
This is the most important part of the fight. Right here, the last minute and 30 seconds of the last round. Like Chris said, a 4-round fight, a knockdown could be disastrous.
Ooh.
So he has to make it very, very clear that he's the better fighter and win this round in flying colors.
I think when Martinez goes back and watches the tape of this fight, he'll see that when he threw the straight punches, just getting to the target, touching his opponent rather than swinging for the big shots, he was way more effective.
Okay, fatigue is setting in now. This is where Martinez's superior training should step up. He should be able to step on the gas at the last minute of the last round.
Monroy slowing down just a bit here over the final minute, allowing Martinez's volume of punches to pick up just a smidge.
Seems like fatigue is setting in for the both of them.
Yes. They both came out guns a-blazing. A right hand lands by Martinez.
He's a warrior. Martinez is definitely a warrior.
Trying to turn it on with that left
Double
hand
hook there.
over the last 20 seconds of this 4-round affair. With family and friends in the stands from nearby Del Rio, Martinez trying to close out strong following his first pro knockdown. That's how it ends. Jesus Martinez bouncing back pretty nicely in that 4th round. But again, guys, just 4 rounds. Who knows what could be on that judge's scorecard?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a very interesting decision. I still believe Martinez did enough to win the fight, but you never know what the judges saw in there. The last 2 rounds, Monroy was going forward. A lot of judges like that.
Especially in Texas. Texas is the place of coming forward and fighting.
Great point.
That's something that Martinez should know. Where you fight is very important on the style of fighting that you need to bring.
Yes, you alluded to that Martinez was giving ground to Monroy, and that was giving Monroy confidence. We saw that in the last 2 rounds.
That was one of the best things that happened to me coming up in the amateurs in Houston, Texas. It taught me a come forward fighting style. It taught me how to adjust to what judges want to see. And it's be interesting to see how the judges judge this fight.
Jesus Martinez acknowledging the fans, the friends, the family who made the drive over to San Antonio in support. And Keven Monroy, man, that knockdown had to feel good. After 2 straight defeats, a long layoff, trying to get back in the game.
For a fighter like Monroy, a knockdown over a highly touted young prospect is great for his career. This is going to give him the credibility to go in and test fighters. And before you know it, he might get a real shot.
Yeah, win, lose, or draw, promoters will use him to test their young up-and-coming fighters, so he will have a lot of opportunities in the future.
This was Monroy's 4th straight 4-round match to begin his pro career, and it was also his first time fighting in Texas as a pro. Previously fought in Las Vegas, in Long Beach, California, and in Tijuana. So here we go. After 4 interesting rounds, we get the judges' scorecards, the final decision with David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds here at San Antonio, we go to the judges' score totals. Steve Morrow, 38-38 even. Ruben Carrion, 39-36, and David Sutherland, 39-37, both for your winner by majority decision. He's still undefeated, Jesus Panterita Martinez.
Oh, he's obviously disappointed, Monroy.